replied. I got a text from the carpet cleaner.
So third-party company.
Third-party company.
That has nothing to do with her company.
With an invoice to pay him $310 for his service, which, get it, he's gone in, done it. That's to his belief. And anyway, she wrote back, all she kind of wrote back was, she goes, I'm sorry. I'm sure you can ask for a refund from your other place, but I'd already prepaid them.
Dollars on our mind. Ideas all the time. We might get distracted, but we're building wealth just fine. This is dollars and distractions. If we went off track, just know we're coming back. More money, more mindset, no holding back. Dollars and distractions.
Hey, I'm Marianne.
And I'm Beck.
And this is Dollars and Distractions. So I don't think we are going to have as funner episode this week as last week.
We don't know.
We don't know.
That was fun.
We don't know where the world's going to take us. No one's forgotten laptops. Everyone's got their shoes. We're all okay.
We're recording.
I have checked. I actually did a quick whip around. I will edit that out, but a quick whip around to make sure everyone's recording because Beck is notoriously bad at hitting record. Subconscious. I'm like, just quick check the microphones are on. Yep.
And it's working. Yep.
Whoop.
Cool.
When you licked the microphone last week.
I didn't, but.
No, I know. It's just like telling people you did. It's usually windows you lick.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't there a thing that, yeah. Yes.
So something we were talking about last week off the back of, before we go any further, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So for anyone that's been listening along to our podcast episodes, Dad, Rich, Beck was purchasing a property, but you are no longer purchasing a property.
We bought it, yeah.
Yeah.
We live in it.
Now you're in a whole lot of debt.
Yeah, a whole lot of debt.
And it raised some questions we were talking about earlier in the week around cash flow and expenses and all that jazz. So we thought this week would be a really good topic to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there's and it's funny because that was probably that's my third purchase in my lifetime, not that many, but you kind of would think that and plus working in finance, you think, oh, well, you're going to have
we know how it goes.
Yeah.
We know the drill.
Prepare for how much you've got to have aside, how much your deposit is, how much your finances are, what your loan amount,
Yeah.
But I think it can get really confusing. It can get really confusing with the figures in terms of how much money you've got to have available, and one thing I noticed too, if I look back, every time it was the same. We do set aside in a funding worksheet how much your legal fees will be roughly, building and pests. So it's all the extra stuff that I think that if you hadn't done it before,
I think what stood out to me, because I've been out of the moving from, you were 2 rentals moving into 1 owner-occupied.
Yeah.
And I've been out of the game so long with that when I'm doing a funding calculator, I'm like, okay, well, logically we need to account for a solicitor. Let's go worst case scenario, $3,000. Building a pest inspection, let's go worst case scenario, $500. Through everything you were talking about in the last week, the cost was a lot more than what I've been budgeting for my clients. And I usually try and keep them still with a lump sum at the end, because the last thing I want to do is bleed them dry of every cent, and then they move in and they get a rates notice and they go, thanks, Marianne, we've got no cash.
Yep.
But there's a fine line, right? You don't want to borrow heaps when you've got cash, but also you don't want to be left with nothing.
No, because there are things like, if I just look at my own scenario, I was the same. Like this was the first rental I'd rented since I think I rented briefly when I was about 20. So we're talking over 20 years ago, but it was a lot different back then. Like, you did your own cleaning, you left and you got your bond back and things like that. But this time,
can we talk about the cleaner for a second?
No.
Yes. We won't name any names. Obviously, we're not going to name anyone.
No.
But I think this
She's
is
not like she's going to listen to my podcast.
Oh, she might be stalking you now. But I think these are
okay.
real life scenarios that you would have seen how worked up I got on, I think it was Friday when you told me, and I was like, we are not letting this go. This is now my fight too.
Yeah.
But there's things like this that people get in the trap of. And when you either don't know, you don't have the time because you're not 42 and perimenopause angry at the world,
Yeah.
you go, oh, it is what it is, and just pay and move on. And I know there's been times where I'm like, oh, it is what it is. You know, my
And I've done
Garmin
that.
watch, I'm like, oh, I have to pay to return it and then I have to pay to receive the new one. It is what it is, just pay and move on. But there are times when you need to.
So that process of moving out of the rental,
Yes.
again, was pretty eye-opening to me because obviously there's a way to do it now that you need to get a bond clean. It's a requirement, I think.
It's not an option because when I rented when I was a teenager, it was here you can do it yourself or you can pay someone to do it.
I don't know, to be honest, like maybe you can do it yourself, but I think now with I get the sense that it's what's the word? Like it's the landlord's world right now. So I don't think they could pick at something that you did and then it's, do you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes
So
sense.
you get a professional in to clean it, then they can't pick on it. But if they do need to pick at it, it's between them and the professional.
And the
not
cleaner
you.
has to keep going back and fixing it. And I think it's just a
Until it's
good
done.
recourse, you know, if the real estate, luckily he rang me this morning and said it's all great, it's perfect, whatever. But I think if he
So
had
she
said,
can clean.
she can clean. Look, I did comment.
What else did she do?
So the way she ran her business was also like, so I needed to put a $200 deposit. So all up, quoted $935. I did 3 quotes. Generally, I think I'm teaching Rich this, but I get like multiple quotes before I decide on something.
Such a nerd.
But I think I've
smart.
realised there's a big variance in
Yes.
what people will charge you. So that's just my standard rule. Anyway, she was $935, $200 deposit. I had to pay her the remainder, $735, 2 days before she even went in and did the clean. Cool, that's fine, whatever. She did the clean. So obviously when you exit as well, you have to do carpet cleaning, and we had a cut, so I needed to get flea control, whatever. Organised that with another company the week before. Said I got a package deal, and they were going to go in the day after the bond clean was done. So then clean was done, carpet cleaning would have been done the next morning.
Pristine, brand new, ready to go.
Yeah. She sent me a message the afternoon that she'd done the clean. She'd actually broken the shower head accidentally and told me that she was going to fix it, and she fixed it. But then she also said, I've left the fans on because the carpet cleaner's been and done the pest control. And I was like, that day too, I was in the midst of moving. We were still moving stuff. And I read it and I was like, sometimes with me, I read things and it doesn't sink until a little bit later. And then I wrote back and I said, does that cost me extra? Because like I'm thinking I had to accept a quote, and I'm thinking,
We naturally blame ourselves because we do have that
But I am
ADD
bad like
brain
that.
where sometimes we go, "Brrr, yep, go.
I'm like, did I not read that? And I've
Yeah.
accepted something and then, you know, shot myself in the foot. But I went back through it first, and then I was like, no, there's nothing in there that says about the carpet cleaning. So I just wrote back and said, I've already organised the carpet cleaning. Was this extra, blah, blah. And she said, you'll hear from, actually before she even replied, I got a text from the carpet cleaner.
So
said she's got
third-party company.
Third-party
It
company.
has nothing to do with her company.
With an invoice to pay him $310 for his service, which, get it, he's gone in, done it. That's to his belief. And anyway, she wrote back, all she kind of wrote back was, she goes, I'm sorry. I'm sure you can ask for a refund from your other place, but I'd already prepaid them. And they were due to go
Plus,
in
you had
7
an
o'clock.
arrangement. It was like you do this and this for a cheaper price. It wasn't just the carpet.
Because I got my couch cleaned as well. So it was a package deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Only to move in with multiple boys. That
Yeah.
it's not going to stay clean.
But not just that, but the business that I organised to go in, I'm then cancelling their business for 7 o'clock the next morning. So I'm taking away from them, which I was mindful for because I felt like an asshole.
And we're all in the economy at the moment. There are some businesses that are living job to job.
Yeah.
You know, that might have been his
And I was
income
really
for the next
mindful of
couple of
that.
days. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, he's booked mine and not taken someone else's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, good point.
anyway, long story short, she was just like, oh, well, you asked for a refund. And I'm like, well, one, why should I be in that position that I need to ask for a refund? Because I didn't agree to the service. And anyway, the difference between, look, it's minute, the difference between what
It's the principle.
it was absolutely the principle for me because I thought, okay, I've got the cash to do this.
Yeah.
One, I shouldn't have to be out of pocket. So I would have been out, all up, I would have been out $110. So the people did refund me back portion of what I had already paid them. So my carpet cleaner.
Yeah.
But they then had to go and pay her contractor. And so the difference was $110. So I was out of pocket there, $110, purely because she agreed on something that I didn't.
See, I think the thing that got me so worked up when you were telling me this story is
I think I wasn't even worked up by the time I was telling you. And then a few days.
I don't know how you were so. We have seen and deal with clients, particularly females who are in, and thankfully I don't see it that often, but I have had clients who are in a domestic dispute. They don't feel safe type situation, and I'm helping get people off titles and what have you. Anyway, we know those people exist. We know that that's out there, and you're a single mum for all intents and purposes. She knows no different. You are you're not really single, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah.
You handpicked a professional that you trusted that you wanted to come into your home when you're not there and do a service.
Yeah.
And then she thought it was okay to go and organise it on your behalf when you haven't asked and it's not been agreed on. But also, and what feels worse to me is have some person you don't know, and I'm sure this carpet cleaning guy was fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's all fine.
And I was out of the house completely.
But she didn't
know
know
that.
any of that.
No.
And so she doesn't know your history, and that might actually have caused you to not feel safe in your own home or
Anything, hey?
no communication whatsoever. And to me, that and then to be hit with, by the way, that's going to end up costing you more, and be so nonchalant on, oh, you just asked for a refund.
At the
it's
start,
fine.
she was quite nonchalant until I kind of sat on it for a couple of days, and then I'd sent her a text, and I was like, actually, I shouldn't be out of pocket for something I didn't agree, and I requested to see the quote that I had apparently. Well, she didn't say. She actually never worded that I'd accepted a quote. She never worded it like she was in the wrong. She was just like, I'll help you deal with, whatever it is. But I kept asking, where was it that I accepted it and why should I be out of pocket? Anyway, long story short, she ended up agreeing to refunding. It was a waste of time. It took 3 days to go back and forth.
Well, I heard some of the messages.
Yeah. It was all ChatGPT. She'd already ChatGPT'd it all.
It was your ChatGPT versus her ChatGPT.
Exactly. AI were fighting. Yeah. She was trying to be very, obviously as a business, she was trying to be.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I get when she's saying, look, as goodwill, I will reimburse you. And look, at the end of the day, she did reimburse you. I still think, and I think this is a trap that.
But a lot of people wouldn't have had the guts or the balls to even ask
some
her.
People
they just
would have
went.
Some people would probably go, oh, that's probably just how it always works.
Yeah.
But that's not how. Like, we compared it to if you and I were to say, start doing finance application for a friend of a friend. If a friend says, oh, you need to do this loan for my friend, and we're like, okay, we've submitted it. No correspondence with that person. I mean, we would be going to jail.
It's a privacy law.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, at the bank, you were never even allowed to acknowledge that someone was a customer to somebody else.
I know.
Purely
you used to have to do that. I can't tell you the name of the account number, but I can tell you it's all okay.
Yeah, because there was a big thing there, like you were just saying about domestic violence. Vulnerable people were at risk of people being
and so it makes me
controlled.
Think, like, if you are renting and buying a property, and these are all the kind of pitfalls that you need to start being mindful, because it's $110 at the end of the day you're out of pocket. Plus, old mate kind of got screwed over, not your doing, but you know, the original guy.
Yeah. So what the process opened to me, that is if and I think a lot of people do rent now. Like, I think a lot of people, unless they're living with parents, maybe first home buyers are. But if you're renting and you are going to buy, but I suppose it's the same if you own somewhere and you buy again, there still are a lot of costs associated with that you probably don't necessarily think of. I did break my lease, but I thought that I'd given them 5 or 6 weeks notice. That was in a market the way it is, where people are
looking for places.
on.
I mean, there's Tent City down by the water.
Yeah, I walked. you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just
They've got a puppy
They've got a
dog. There's
clothesline.
kids' bikes.
yeah.
They turned the council turned the barbecue off, so now they've got a Weber. Someone
They do.
Yeah, I was
Sad.
telling my mother-in-law about it, and she was like, "Oh, what can we do?" And I was like,
I know.
"Can we put them in our place?" And I'm like, "Oh, maybe not."
I was surprised to see, and if you haven't, it's down by the marina by Redland Bay, and I didn't realize it was that. Jai had seen it, and he's like, "Oh, there's
Yeah.
this down there." I'm like, "Oh yeah," like because you know I see tents around, but this is a big.
They have moved in.
It's like a
Moved
community.
in.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know that it's like a community. Isn't
There's
it just a
multiple people.
family?
No, I reckon there's more.
There's been a couple times on my
I've seen
jog.
2 females and a male, and multiple males in there.
There's been a couple times on my jog when like it's early hours or late in the evening, like not dark, but getting that way. And I jog past and I'm like, I don't know
See,
how
I go early
safe
morning.
I feel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're really, really lovely. And that's why when I saw that there was a female and a dog and some kids' bikes, I was like, okay, well, that's, I'm fine.
But as sad as, I think it's sad that is probably going to be more prevalent in the way of the cost of living and the cost of renting and the cost of housing in general.
Well, it's interesting because someone put a post up on Facebook about can't council move them on and how disgusting it is. And like I said, at first I didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
There was 1 or 2 times I jogged past and there was all these e-bikes laying there and the smell.
Were you at our house?
The smell I knew was not what you would normally smell. Kind of looks like this fern kind of smell burning. And I was like, I don't feel safe. Anyway.
Got you.
Now when I saw that there's family and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But so someone put on there, back to my point, we've gone way off track.
We have.
But back to my point, someone put on there, don't you find it interesting that they always put up tents right near the water? And in my head, I was like, I actually think that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because that's usually where there's a rotunda, toilets and a barbecue. They can then bathe in the bay. If they're at a park in suburbia, where do they shower?
Yeah.
Do you know, like I don't think they're not choosing to live there because then they have the most beautiful views of the bay. They're living in a fucking tent.
Exactly.
They're struggling.
And I don't know, this is gone off topic, I don't know, I'll just let it go. But I used to volunteer for Rosie's years and years ago for quite a while before I only stopped because I got pregnant and it was, it wasn't the greatest. But anyway, when you talk to the people there, I think you'll be more surprised how many are I don't want to say the word normal because I don't think there is normal, but just people who were living a pretty normal life. One guy was a tradie who had, I think there was something on the job that had occurred and his insurance, like it was like something he got sued for and just like that, like he was wiped out. And so I think sometimes there's an assumption that, it's a particular person, but
yes.
I really think that life can change pretty quickly for people.
Janet, who would be like my kind of, I don't know, mentor-ish. And she's always said to me, everyone is, I think she says it's like 4 bad decisions away from being homeless.
100%.
And because she was a single mom who, made some choices and was nearly homeless, she's very passionate about the homeless and it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, you really are only 4 bad choices away and some people maybe even less from being homeless.
And I think it's as our society goes more and more the way the cost of living and like incomes are not catching up, and I think that's more prevalent.
Yeah.
Like really, and it's not a world for single people. If you were to fall ill or can't work,
yeah,
or even as a couple, if one of you can't work all of a sudden and you don't have sufficient, it changes your trajectory of life.
So bringing it back.
Oh, you're bringing it back.
This is the second time. I would like it noted. This is the second time I have brought it back. But bringing it back, this is what was glaringly obvious to you when you were moving out because you'd given 5 to 6 weeks notice and they still had to charge you rent. Are you still paying rent?
I had to pay rent, I think it's for 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks past my vacate date.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I think 5 to 6. Look, I'm not in the real estate market,
And
but
you
5
had-
to 6 weeks is a long time to get a tenant.
Well, I think you said that, and then it prompted me to send an email saying, "Hey, like, why is it taking so long? Blah blah. Is there a reason?"
Am I like your little?
Oh, you must be that little thing.
You need
on
to fight this. I'm not
But-
always angry.
But my rent was $700 a week for just
That's
me.
a lot of
So
money.
That was $1,400 I had to pay out of pocket
Yes.
for something I didn't need at that time too. We have a mortgage at the same
So
time.
we're at $1,510 in unexpected costs.
Yeah.
You did get the 110 back, but if you didn't fight for it already,
Yep.
and now you've got a mortgage that's not like
But
it's
I'm
not a
paying-
small mortgage.
No, it's not a small mortgage.
It's
no.
a beautiful home.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you loving
Very
it?
I am loving it. Yeah, I think sometimes we even made the comment like, I think it hasn't sunk in that that's our house. Like I look and go, it's a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like it is a beautiful house, but it's a little bit imposter going, man, is this our house? Like, I don't know whether that's a value thing or whether, you know what I mean? Like,
I think I would feel exactly the same.
yeah.
I don't. It's
And
for
I'm
some
not saying I live in a
reason-
castle or anything, but I think I've
It
always
is beautiful, but for some reason in my head, I still think I'm like 20. So
I think
if I
that's
had a
maybe
big
what I
2-story home that I was driving up to, I would feel like, oh, this is so grown up, and I'm not grown up, and this is the kind of thing that people in their 40s aspire to.
yeah.
Forgetting that I am well into my 40s.
And I think anyone who really knows me knows I would live. I don't really. This sounds really like blasé, but I don't care where I live. Like
Yeah.
I've never been one to go.
Well, I think you care where, it's not
Oh, I do.
what in, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
I don't have
you
a
love
level
the
of
bay. You
living-
didn't want to leave the bay.
Oh yeah,
But it wasn't like, well, it has to have this and it has to have
not
that. And
yeah.
yeah.
So I think that part of me too goes, oh, this is pretty like nice. You know, is this ours? Yeah.
That'll
yeah.
sink in.
It'll sink in one time.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. There were definitely, and there still is ongoing stuff that we're paying. Like,
Yeah.
so effectively, Rich has his house too that he was renting, and the same thing on that end, like cleaning fees, rent doubling up. So I think it's something that I thought, I'm in the business and I've thought that I was prepared.
Mhm.
But I don't think unless you put pen to paper. And when you get that statement through from the solicitor, settlement statement, it can be really confusing. I mean, you've got rates in there that you've got to pay for,
Yeah.
so I think if you didn't know, it'd be pretty
Even-
surprising.
Even on the repayments. So we're in the industry. We know how mortgage repayments work. And then when you had your settlement, you were told, okay, your repayments start in a month's time. And you questioned it to me, and I was like, no, that's wrong. You questioned the bank first, said to them, that's wrong. They
Yep.
said, no, that's right. You
Yep.
told me, and I said, no, that's wrong.
Yep.
We called our contact at the bank, and she said, no, that's right.
Yeah.
So technically, you don't need to be starting to pay your mortgage for a month's time,
Yeah.
but those interest charges start from day one. You've already
Well, I
seen
got
an interest charge.
a week after.
So in my head, and we've already talked about this, you're already doing it. You want to make those repayments straight
But so
away.
luckily, though, I thought in my head, like being maybe banking, I'm going to keep paying that because,
100%.
like, if you look at the interest charge, it's still going to get charged.
You're then effectively a month behind, and you're paying interest on interest.
Well, you're kind of like interest only for 1 month. So then
Yeah.
you're already what you thought your loan amount was be.
Well, hang on, you're worse than interest only.
You are.
Because that interest is being added to the loan.
Exactly.
Whereas interest only, you're at least paying the interest down. So you're
and it stays at the same balance. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you're actually further behind. And it's a month.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the cash flow that you had, we're not going into details, but and then all these extra expenses came up,
Oh.
that 1 month might be a saving grace because we don't want you to move in and be on the bones of your ass. We've talked about that.
Absolutely.
But I would be saying to
But I didn't-
anyone who settles with this bank now going forward, FYI, your repayments will start 1 month later, but let's start them right away.
100%.
Let's not wait.
Because the only reason I called too was because in the app there was no week. I want weekly payments of this amount, And when I looked in the app, the weekly payment wasn't due for a month later. And I was like, oh, no, that's not right.
That's so
I'm going to
wrong.
have to change this. Like, it's not coming out.
Yeah.
Or do I have to make it
It's
manually?
so funny that we're like, they've made a mistake. And we call and she's like, no, that's absolutely correct.
Well, because like other banks do not do that. You have to
I
pay
have
as
never
soon as you
heard
move
of a
in.
bank doing that.
Yeah. I don't know why well, I do get why.
And I think if you're not in the industry, every part of you would go. So I just think of my husband and he would go, sweet, we don't have to make a repayment. That means that what that repayment would be, let's say our repayments are $4,000 a month. We got $4,000 extra. But and technically you do. But
you don't.
financially, you don't.
No.
And
No
I wouldn't
way.
encourage you to.
No.
Like I said, if money's tight and you're, oh no, the car's just shit itself and we've got this repayment extra $4,000, obviously you're not going to go under. You're going to use that. But yeah, I wouldn't be.
And then maybe too, like as brokers, then maybe that's a discussion that we probably both of to me has opened my eyes to.
Absolutely.
Because I think we do allow and we talk about some fees involved there, like the solicitor fees. You know, you've got your conveyancing fees for settlement, you've got building and pests, but there are absolutely other fees that
we
don't
need to
really
account
think
for.
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also too, I guess that's not just us. That's if you're buying, you kind of really need to put pen to paper on how much things are.
We were talking
to
about
cost.
it the other day, and remember we have the two extreme clients. We've got the clients who are buying, and building is the most common because it costs so much. Yeah. And they each time we call them to do something, they've saved more money.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll go, oh, that's great because we actually need, or there's a variation in the contract or what have you. And every time we call them, she's like, oh, well, I've got some more saving because they are just in that mindset of we need to smash our savings constantly until this is all done.
And I think too that's so important when you're building. Like we've talked about this, like when you're building, yes, you buy land.
But even buying.
Yeah, even buying, yeah.
But especially
if you know
building.
ahead,
yes.
Yeah. But I mean, it takes so long to build. Like, let's say 12 months, right, by the time you buy the land and build. I don't know. Yeah, those costs can blow out completely.
And all you need is, so these days, a variation to contract could be the builder saying, oh, by the way, the cost has gone up. Here's a variation. It's not because you've chosen the Italian tiles or the claw buff floor.
Yep.
It's just the cost has gone up. Here's a variation. And guess who has to pay that?
You do.
You, with your cash.
And also at the end, though, you kind of go, all right, you've got a house, but you haven't got a fence and you haven't got a
mailbox,
garden,
curtains.
got a pathway.
I lived without curtains when we first moved into, Jeremy and I bought a house together.
Yeah.
I lived without curtains.
I think have we all had sheets on windows?
I didn't even put sheets up. I loved it. And then for our engagement present, we got curtains.
Yeah.
And Jeremy was like, oh, thank goodness we've got curtains. And I was like, oh, I actually really loved getting up with the sun and going to sleep and seeing the full moon shining through.
Yeah.
I loved every part of it.
Yeah.
So I actually
isn't
could have
it?
done without the curtains. But full disclosure, we had the type of property
I was going to say, depending on where you live, because if your neighbours were like, right.
No,
Right there,
we
be
had the
different
type of
story.
property that was very sunken back and
Yes.
yeah,
it was.
yeah. And you would have to be a creeper with binoculars, and even then, you're just a creeper.
These days I don't, yeah.
And even then, joke's on you because no one wants to see this naked.
Oh, please.
Oh dear. Okay, so we're way off track now.
We are. Yeah.
Let's bring it back to our key point.
Yeah. I think it's not just a deposit you need to think of. Like I think if that spark in your head, to me it comes back to the importance of saving, like saving and saving and saving.
Yeah.
Even if you are planning to buy, the more like anything you can save to go towards.
And what's the worst case, right? You save an extra $5,000 that you didn't need because you didn't have all these extra costs. Great. Paid off the home loan. You're
Absolutely.
$5,000 in front already.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love
Yeah.
it.
But also too, like it's same with us. Like we had a big chunk in savings. Now I don't have that. So mentally as well, like to me it's important to, when you have a house, just have some sort of backup money. Like if you can save and save before, because stuff does go wrong or you need to fix or you need to, amend, or just to have that as, a buffer.
Yeah, and so you should probably talk to your broker about ways that you can, so making extra repayments into an offset or a redraw or something like that, depending on the structure, so that over time you can build that buffer back up.
Absolutely.
So that you, just quickly, I know that was our finishing note, but quickly I did read pardon me, I read online the other day a client, someone who had just bought, and she was coming to terms with the fact that she had, let's say, 100,000 sitting in her savings account. Now she has nothing, but she has a property, but she has nothing.
Absolutely.
And she was saying how the mind fuck it is that she then has to say to herself, I have $100,000 worth of equity in that property. It's hard.
This is me.
Yeah.
And maybe too, because being a single mum too, that buffer was always like, you know.
Just in case.
It was there. Yeah,
Yeah.
never touched it, but it was there. And now you're right. Like, not to say, and I suppose I probably more than others live in fight or flight, but if it ever, you know, it's not just there. Like, yeah, you do have equity, but it's not just there.
Yeah.
And I think when you're used to some people are used to having savings, some people aren't. Like, I've just always been, I don't know, safer with having money.
Having a buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
not everyone's like that.
I guess moral of the story, save, save, save.
Yeah.
And if you need a budgeting template
Yes.
to help you kind of work out how much you can be putting aside to save, just reach out. We've got a great one that we can
100%.
share.
Yeah.
It's free.
It is free. Free is good.
Free is good. It won't cost you anything, but it'll help you save.
Absolutely.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Dollars on our mind. Ideas all the time. We might get distracted, but we're building wealth just fine. This is dollars and distractions. If we win